moments in life when the mind feels crowded, restless, and tired. In those moments, change feels impossible, and the days repeat with the same thoughts, the same reactions, and the same emotional weight. But the ancient Stoics believed that the mind is not fixed. It can be shaped, strengthened, and renewed with steady practice. With simple daily actions, anyone can rebuild clarity, discipline, and calm. In just 7 days, small steps can open the door to a stronger and more peaceful mind. There is a quiet strength that comes from the way you begin your morning. When you wake up and decide to guide your thoughts instead of letting them wander, you give your mind a gentle push toward clarity. Starting your morning with a positive thought is not about forcing yourself to be cheerful or pretending life is perfect. It is about choosing the first direction your mind will travel. The Stoics understood that the first thoughts of the day shape every moment that follows. A positive morning thought acts like a compass, pointing you toward a healthier mindset. It could be something simple, like telling yourself that today you will move with patience, or that today you will stay calm no matter what comes your way. It could be a reminder that you are learning, growing, and becoming stronger. When you begin your day with intention, your mind feels supported. You feel a sense of direction before the world rushes in with noise and demands. This single thought sets the tone for how you respond to challenges. It helps you stay grounded when unexpected problems appear. It gives you clarity when emotions rise. A morning thought becomes a mental anchor that you return to again and again. It calms you when frustration tries to take over, and it lifts you when your energy becomes low. Even if your day becomes difficult, that one thought reminds you that your mind has the power to choose how to respond. This is how change begins. Not with pressure, not with big promises, but with one simple message that inspires your mind to move in a healthier direction. Over time, this daily habit rewires your thinking. Your mornings become moments of strength instead of moments of stress. You begin the day with confidence instead of confusion. And as the days pass, you realize that one small morning practice can shift the entire direction of your life. There is peace in remembering that not everything is in your control. The Stoics believed that much of our suffering comes from trying to manage things that are not ours to manage. When you learn to focus only on what you can control, your mind becomes lighter. This shift does not happen all at once, but it grows each time you let go of things that don't belong to you. You cannot control what others think, but you can control the honesty of your own thoughts. You cannot control how others act, but you can control your own choices. You cannot control the events of the world, but you can control the way you respond to them. By directing your energy inward, your mind becomes calmer and more disciplined. Stress begins to soften because you stop fighting battles that were never meant for you. Instead of reacting to everything around you, you learn to respond with intention. You learn to give your attention only to things that truly matter and that you can actually influence. This makes your mind feel free again. When something stressful happens, you pause and remind yourself to focus only on what you can do in this moment. If something is outside your control, you release it instead of carrying it like a burden. Slowly, this becomes your natural way of thinking. Your reactions become steadier. Your emotions become clearer. Your mind becomes stronger because it is no longer pulled in every direction. You begin to notice how much energy you save when you stop chasing what is impossible. And that energy is redirected toward growth, patience, and inner strength. Focusing on what you can control is not avoidance. It is wisdom. It is the simple but powerful practice of protecting your peace and refusing to let the world decide the quality of your thoughts. There is something powerful about pausing for a moment and recognizing something good in your life. Writing down one thing you are grateful for is a gentle practice that opens the heart and clears the mind. Gratitude does not have to be grand or dramatic. It can be something small yet meaningful, like the comfort of morning light, the support of someone you love, or the progress you made even if no one else noticed. The Stoics encouraged people to appreciate the present moment because everything we have is temporary, and noticing it brings peace. When you write down one thing you are grateful for, your mind shifts from what is missing to what is already here. This shift rewires the brain toward balance. It strengthens your ability to notice beauty, calmness, and goodness, even on difficult days. Gratitude simplifies everything. It turns your attention away from stress and toward appreciation. It reminds you that despite the challenges of life, you still have reasons to smile. When you practice this each day, your mind slowly learns to look for the positive instead of the negative. You become more aware of small blessings. You begin to see growth in places where you once saw failure. You start to recognize value in moments that previously felt ordinary. This daily habit strengthens emotional resilience. When challenges appear, gratitude helps you stay grounded. It keeps your thoughts from becoming overwhelmed. You see both the hardship and the good instead of letting negativity take over. Over time, your mind becomes naturally more hopeful. Your thoughts become kinder. Your heart feels lighter. Gratitude is a simple act, but it rebuilds the way you see the world and yourself. One small sentence each day can transform the way your brain understands life. There is a deep sense of calm that comes from focusing on your breath. Practicing deep breathing for 2 minutes each day may seem too simple to matter, but it has the power to reset your mind. Breathing slowly tells your body that you are safe. It softens tension, quiets stress, and clears mental noise. The Stoics understood that the body and mind are connected, so calming the breath helps calm the thoughts. When you breathe deeply, your mind slows down. You become more aware of the present moment. You stop rushing. You stop worrying about tomorrow. You stop replaying the past. Instead, you return to yourself. Your thoughts become clearer, and you feel more in control. This small practice teaches you how to find peace, even in the middle of chaos. You learn that calmness is not something the world gives you. It is something you create within yourself. Deep breathing becomes a tool you can use anywhere, at any time. When stress rises, you breathe. When frustration builds, you breathe. When confusion takes over, you breathe. Within moments, your mind begins to shift. The noise becomes softer. The pressure becomes lighter. Your emotions become easier to understand. The more you practice, the more naturally your mind responds with calmness instead of panic. This simple habit rewires your brain to pause before reacting. It strengthens patience, discipline, and emotional control. And as the days pass, you begin to notice how much steadier your mind feels. You no longer feel pushed by each moment. You move through your day with quiet strength because your breath becomes your anchor. 2 minutes of deep breathing can turn a heavy day into a manageable one. It is a reminder that peace is always available when you choose to return to your breath. There are days when the mind feels heavy, and continuing your work or thoughts feels overwhelming. Taking a short break may seem unimportant, but it can be one of the most powerful ways to refresh your mind. The Stoics often taught that stepping back for a moment allows clarity to return. When your mind feels overloaded, your thoughts begin to spiral. You lose your focus. You become more reactive. You feel pressure even when the situation does not require it. A short break interrupts this pattern. It gives your mind a chance to reset. It allows your emotions to quiet down so you can respond with wisdom instead of frustration. A break does not have to be long or complicated. It can be a walk outside, a moment of silence, a few breaths of fresh air, or simply sitting with your eyes closed. The purpose is not to avoid work, but to regain balance. When you step away, your brain releases tension. It reorganizes your thoughts. It becomes easier to think clearly and make better decisions. Over time, this habit strengthens emotional resilience. You become more patient. You stop forcing yourself beyond your limits. You learn to recognize when your mind needs rest instead of pushing until you feel drained. A short break becomes a reminder that your mental health matters. It helps you return to your tasks with renewed focus. It prevents burnout. It teaches your mind to recover quickly from stress. Instead of feeling trapped in a cycle of pressure, you create space for calm. And in that space, strength grows. Taking short breaks is not a sign of weakness or laziness. It is a sign of wisdom and awareness. It is a gentle practice that rewires your mind to protect your energy and move through life with clarity and balance. There is a powerful shift that happens when you choose to replace negative thoughts with calm ones. The mind often reacts automatically, and negative thoughts can appear before you even realize it. They may come from fear, doubt, frustration, or past experiences. The Stoics believed that thoughts themselves do not harm us. It is our attachment to them that creates suffering. When a negative thought appears, you do not need to fight it or punish yourself for having it. Instead, you observe it, acknowledge it, and gently replace it with a calmer perspective. This practice rewires the mind. It teaches your brain that it has the power to redirect the story it tells. For example, if you think, "I cannot handle this," you replace it with, "I can take this one step at a time." If you think, "Everything is going wrong," you shift to, "I will focus on what I can improve right now." These small changes gradually reshape your inner world. Over time, your mind becomes less reactive. Negative thoughts lose their intensity. You learn to question them instead of trusting them blindly. You begin to see them as passing clouds instead of storms. This habit strengthens emotional control and inner peace. It teaches you to respond instead of react. It gives you the power to create space between your thoughts and your actions. This space is where calmness grows. When you replace negativity with calmness, you train your mind to seek balance even when life becomes difficult. You learn to comfort yourself instead of criticize yourself. You learn to find solutions instead of problems. And slowly, your inner dialogue becomes kinder, clearer, and more supportive. This small practice becomes a path toward a stronger and more peaceful mind. There is a quiet transformation that comes from doing one small good action each day. It does not have to be large or dramatic. It can be simple, gentle, and easy to do. The Stoics believed that doing good strengthens the soul because positive actions shape the character more than words ever can. When you do something kind, your mind becomes lighter. You feel connected to others. You create a sense of meaning that no one can take away. A small good action can be offering a smile, helping someone, being patient when you feel frustrated, or giving someone encouragement. These actions may seem small, but they create powerful changes. They remind you that you can contribute to the world in a positive way. They help you feel more in control of your own behavior and emotions. Doing good daily rewires your brain to look for opportunities to improve life, rather than focusing on negativity. Every small action builds strength. Every moment of kindness builds confidence. You begin to see the world with more compassion. Your mind stops revolving around stress and begins to revolve around purpose. This habit also teaches you discipline. Even on hard days, choosing to do one good thing gives you a sense of progress. It helps you feel grounded and balanced. It keeps your heart open, even when life feels challenging. Most importantly, this habit shapes your identity. You begin to see yourself as someone who brings value to the world. This strengthens your sense of worth and resilience. Over time, these small actions accumulate into a powerful transformation. Your mind becomes kinder, stronger, and more connected to what truly matters. There is wisdom in learning to pause before reacting. When emotions rise quickly, the mind can become clouded and reactions become impulsive. The Stoics emphasize the importance of mastering your reactions because emotional impulses often lead to regret. When you feel upset, taking a moment before responding can completely change the direction of the situation. This pause does not mean avoiding your emotions. It means giving yourself space to understand them before they guide your actions. When you pause, you breathe. You observe your feelings. You remind yourself that you do not need to respond immediately. This simple habit strengthens emotional control. It helps you stay calm even when tension is high. Over time, your reactions become more thoughtful. You stop saying things you don't mean. You stop acting out of anger. You begin to respond with intention instead of impulse. This creates healthier conversations, clearer thinking, and stronger relationships. The pause becomes a source of power. It protects your peace and prevents unnecessary conflict. When upset, your mind can create stories that are not true. By pausing, you give yourself time to see things more clearly. You understand what matters and what does not. You separate the emotion from the action. This habit rewires your brain to stay steady under pressure. It teaches patience and awareness. You begin to trust yourself more, knowing that your reactions come from clarity, not chaos. And slowly, you build a mind that remains calm even in the storms of life. There is something deeply healing about feeding your mind with inspiring words. Reading or listening to something uplifting each day is like giving your thoughts a refreshing drink of clarity. The Stoics believed that wisdom strengthens the mind the same way exercise strengthens the body. When you fill your mind with inspiration, you shift its direction toward growth. It could be a short paragraph, a calming podcast, a meaningful quote, or a message that lifts your spirit. These small moments of inspiration remind you of your strength, your purpose, and your ability to improve. They help your mind stay focused on what matters. They push away doubts and encourage hope. When you make this a daily habit, your brain starts to welcome positivity more naturally. Your thoughts become clearer. Your energy becomes lighter. You become more open to learning and change. Inspiration also helps you stay disciplined on difficult days. It reminds you that growth is a continuous journey. It keeps motivation alive when you feel discouraged. It brings new perspectives that break old patterns. The more inspired you feel, the more your actions reflect that inspiration. Your choices become healthier. Your reactions become calmer. Your goals become clearer. This habit strengthens your inner world. It reminds you that your mind deserves nourishment, just like your body does. Over time, you become more resilient. You begin to see challenges as opportunities. You learn to carry hope even when life becomes heavy. A few minutes of inspiration each day can completely transform your mindset. There is a powerful calmness that comes from ending your day with reflection. Reviewing your progress each night helps your mind grow stronger and more aware. It gives you a chance to understand your actions, your emotions, and your choices. The Stoics believed that self-reflection is essential for self-improvement. When you take a few moments to look back on your day, you learn from your experiences instead of repeating the same mistakes. You notice what you handled well, and you also notice where you struggled. This reflection is not about judging yourself harshly. It is about understanding yourself with honesty and kindness. You ask simple questions. Did I act with patience? Did I react calmly? Did I move closer to the person I want to become? Did I let emotions control me? This process rewires your mind to grow each day. It helps you become more aware of your thoughts and behaviors. You begin to understand what strengthens you and what drains you. You learn which habits support your peace and which habits pull you away from it. Nightly reflection gives you clarity. It reminds you that progress is possible, even when the day felt difficult. It helps you end your day with intention rather than chaos. It brings peace to the mind before sleep. It allows you to release the weight of the day. Over time, this habit shapes your character. You become more disciplined, more patient, and more mindful. You learn from yourself every night. And with each lesson, your mind becomes stronger and more prepared for the next day.